ADX Florence, the supermax. There's a place in America where human contact is a privilege. A sliver of sky is all you see, and the walls are designed not just to contain, but to crush. It's the end of the line, the final stop. This isn't just a prison. It's a high-tech fortress of solitude built for the uncontainable. We're talking about ADX Florence. And this is your first and only look inside the most secure prison on Earth. In the annals of correctional history, certain institutions become infamous. Think Alcatraz. But imagine it on steroids and devoid of almost all human interaction. That is the legacy ADX Florence aimed to create when its doors clanged shut in 1994. It wasn't conceived out of a desire for mere punishment, but as a stark, last-resort solution to a terrifyingly specific problem. Inmates so volatile, so adept at orchestrating chaos from behind bars, that they threatened the very fabric of prison security nationwide. Picture gang leaders issuing deadly orders through smuggled phones. Imagine correctional officers living in constant fear, and you begin to understand the impetus behind this supermax fortress. The catalyst? Harrowing events like the 1983 murders of 2 guards at USP Marion. A maximum security prison at the time, which starkly illustrated the system's vulnerabilities. ADX wasn't just an upgrade, it was a radical redesign of how we confine the seemingly uncontainable. Nestled amidst the rugged sun-baked plains near Florence, Colorado, ADX isn't some imposing structure looming over a bustling metropolis. Instead, it's deliberately isolated, a concrete scar on a landscape of scrub brush and distant mountains. Consider the strategic logic. Far from major urban centers, minimizing the potential for external threats or sympathetic infiltrations. Ironically, the very community that hosts this monument to confinement once actively campaigned for its construction. Visualize town hall meetings filled with residents eager for the economic stability, the jobs, the influx of federal dollars, that a high-security prison promised. It's a bizarre juxtaposition, a town embracing the ultimate symbol of isolation, all for the sake of connection and prosperity within their own community. You hear about prison security levels, minimum, medium, maximum. But then there's this mythical supermax, a classification so exclusive, so severe, that ADX Florence stands as the sole federal example in the United States. Think of it as the VIP lounge of the damned. This isn't just about thicker walls or more guards, it's a fundamentally different operational philosophy. Every facet, from the thickness of the steel doors to the highly regimented daily schedule, is meticulously engineered to eliminate virtually all human interaction and inmate autonomy. It's a system built on the premise that these individuals are so dangerous they cannot even be safely housed amongst other high-risk prisoners. Now let's talk about the living quarters. Forget any romanticized notions of prison life. Picture a box, roughly 7 by 12 feet. Constructed from unforgiving, poured concrete. The bed, a concrete slab with a thin mattress. The desk, more concrete, bolted to the wall. The stool? You guessed it, concrete. Imagine spending 23 to 24 hours a day in this sensory deprivation chamber. The only natural light filters through a minuscule, 4-inch wide window, carefully angled to offer a view of nothing more than a sliver of the sky, or perhaps even more depressingly, the cold, unyielding brick of an adjacent wall. This isn't just confinement. It's a deliberate stripping away of almost all visual and tactile stimulation, designed to erode the very essence of connection and awareness. ADX isn't just relying on brute force and concrete. It's a technological marvel of security. Imagine a web of motion detectors, so sensitive they can likely track a fly. Picture thousands of surveillance cameras, providing an unblinking, omnipresent gaze. At the heart of this fortress lies a central control room, a high-tech nerve center where officers monitor a dizzying array of feeds, their fingers hovering over the controls for power 100 remote-controlled steel doors. Should the unthinkable occur, an escape attempt, an act of violence, a panic button can instantly slam shut every door in a sector, transforming it into an impenetrable maze. Outside, multiple layers of razor wire fences glint menacingly under the Colorado sun, while laser tripwires stand as silent sentinels against any who dare to breach the perimeter. And let's not forget the ever-vigilant patrols of heavily armed guards and their K9 companions, a final, formidable line of defense. In ADX, human connection is a carefully rationed, highly controlled commodity. Imagine the profound isolation of being allowed perhaps one monitored 15-minute phone call per month. A lifeline to the outside world that's constantly scrutinized. Letters, books, and magazines undergo rigorous censorship. Every word and image potentially deemed a security risk. Even the simple act of breathing fresh air and feeling the sun on your skin is a rare privilege. Recreation often consists of a solitary hour spent in a concrete dog run. A small, enclosed pen open to the sky, where an inmate can take a few lonely steps. A stark reminder of the vast freedom they've lost. It's a deliberate severing of the ties that bind us to humanity. A world designed to be psychologically as isolating as physically secure. ADX Florence has become the final destination for a chillingly impressive roster of notorious criminals. Think of it as Madame Tussauds, but with real, breathing, albeit very confined figures who have profoundly impacted modern history. Consider Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, the cold-blooded perpetrator of the Boston Marathon bombing. Zacarias Moussaoui, the so-called 20th hijacker of 9/11, and the infamous Unabomber. Ted Kaczynski, who terrorized the nation with his mail bombs. More recently, the notorious drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, a man who once commanded a vast criminal empire, now resides within these unyielding walls. These aren't just criminals. They are individuals deemed so exceptionally dangerous or influential that their isolation is considered a matter of national security. While the physical constraints of ADX are starkly evident, the true brutality lies in the unseen bars of the mind. Imagine the crushing weight of perpetual solitude, the relentless monotony broken only by the gnawing silence. Reports and harrowing accounts paint a grim picture of the psychological impact of prolonged solitary confinement, the descent into psychosis, the terrifying hallucinations, the crippling anxiety, and the profound, unshakable depression. Documented cases of self-mutilation and desperate suicide attempts serve as tragic testaments to the human psyche pushed beyond its breaking point. The 2012 class action lawsuit, Cunningham versus Federal Bureau of Prisons, brought to light allegations of inadequate mental health care within ADX, underscoring the devastating human cost of this extreme form of incarceration. In the grim calculus of incarceration, ADX Florence boasts one undeniably impressive statistic: 0 successful escapes since its inception in 1994. Consider the sheer audacity of this achievement, given the caliber of individuals housed within its walls. Individuals often possessing cunning, resourcefulness, and a profound desperation for freedom. This flawless record is a testament to the facility's meticulously planned design, its redundant layers of security, and the unwavering vigilance of its highly trained staff. It truly lives up to its moniker, the Alcatraz of the Rockies, surpassing even the legendary escape-proof island prison in its unbroken streak of confinement. The very existence of ADX Florence forces us to confront uncomfortable ethical questions. Imagine the heated debates among legal scholars, human rights advocates, and the general public regarding the morality of such extreme isolation. Organizations like Amnesty International have vehemently condemned the conditions, arguing that prolonged solitary confinement constitutes cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment, potentially violating fundamental principles of international law. At the heart of the debate lies a fundamental tension. Does the paramount need for societal security, especially when dealing with exceptionally dangerous individuals, justify the infliction of what many consider to be profound and potentially irreversible psychological harm? ADX Florence stands as a stark embodiment of the complex and often troubling choices we make in the pursuit of justice and security. Thank you for delving into the stark realities of ADX Florence with us here on Street Perspectives 101. We strive to bring you in-depth looks at the world around us, even the darkest corners. If you found this eye-opening, unsettling, or simply thought-provoking, please consider hitting that like buttons, and unsubscribing to Street Perspectives 1011. For more explorations of our complex world, your support allows us to continue bringing you content like this. Until next time, keep those perspectives sharp.